Today we're getting inspiration from GraphicStock, so stick around. Hello everyone, welcome to PencilStash. I'm Rachel. This is a weekly show about adult coloring, colored pencils, tips, and tricks. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, or better yet, that bell button to be notified when I've uploaded new content. And if you're enjoying my videos, give me that big thumbs up. It helps new folks find my channel. So today I'm partnering with GraphicStock, an online provider of over 350,000 royalty-free images, illustrations, and vectors. So as part of their June Creator to Creator campaign, they've issued me a challenge. Use their service in order to find inspiration for one of my coloring pages. And I was only too happy to accept. So thank you to GraphicStock for partnering with me and sponsoring this video. So they were kind enough to grant me access and let me play around with their website. And once I was able to see all of the amazing images that they had to offer, I was really able to take a look and see not only can I use their images for reference photos, but I can also get a lot of color palette and style inspiration from their photos as well, which is what I've done in our video today. So I'll show you in a minute how I used that, but if you like what you see here, GraphicStock was also nice enough to grant my watchers a free 7-day trial to their subscription service just for watching PencilStash. So if you actually go down into the comments, you can see that there's a direct link below that will take you to that free 7-day trial. So definitely check them out. It's only 7 days, but definitely worth you checking out. And once you sign up, use it to create something special and then post it on social media using the hashtag #CreatorToCreator in order to share your wonderful work with the world. So without further ado, here's what I created with my GraphicStock subscription. So if you go to GraphicStock.com, it'll bring you right to this homepage where you can log in and sign up. And it already has a whole bunch of kind of categories that you can search by. Photos, illustrations, vectors, collections, anything you could possibly put into a category. But it also has this neat search bar that you can just search by as well. And I just want to call out that it's unlimited downloads, no additional fees, and those images are yours to keep forever. So if you do use that search bar, and I'm just going to type in sunsets just to see, because that's usually something that some folks struggle with in coloring. So I have all these reference images to use. I could just have it on illustrations, I can just look at photos, so that I can really kind of choose and be inspired by maybe one of these photos, and I can use it as easy reference. And the nice thing is, when you like a photo, you can actually download it by clicking that little down arrow on each of these pictures, or you can press that plus sign, which will add it to your personal folder so that you can always go back to it later. So I'll show you how that works right now. I'm going to click the plus sign and I'm going to just add it to my folder. And you can have several different folders based on your project or the type of thing that you're looking at. You can just have a sunset folder, however you want to organize that. And then you can always go back later and kind of narrow down your options and then download the one that you want to use. So I'm going to show you one that I came across earlier. And it's this one right here. It's an oil painting. And I just love it. It's beautiful. I love the color palette. I love the mood it creates. It just kind of speaks to me. So I'm going to use this photo as my inspiration for our coloring page today. And I'm going to click this green button right here that says download, and I'm going to be able to download it to my computer. It won't have that GraphicStock watermark on it. It'll be clean, and I'm going to use this as my color palette for today's coloring page. And just to give you a sneak peek of how this is going to come out, here's our final product next to our reference photo. So let's get started. So I'm going to put our inspiration photo here side by side. And this isn't a color along, it's really just kind of meant to show you how you can use GraphicStock images as your inspiration. So here are the colors that I pulled based on this photo. So instead of kind of going by the seat of my pants as I go, I like to pull kind of the main core colors that I'd like to use in the page and adding and subtracting as I go, but these are the main ones that I'll be using, and these are pulled directly from this image. So we're going to start with this great yellow sky in our reference photo. And I love the yellow sky because it's not something that I would typically do. So it's kind of pushing me outside of my comfort zone and just getting me to experiment a little bit. So we're using 3 different yellows here, including some orangey yellows. And I'm just kind of trying to go real light in the middle and then sort of orangey at the edges here, just like in our reference photo. Now, if you look at the reference photo again, the edges of the trees in the background are this great sort of orangey burnt ochre color. So I sort of see that as a little bit of a yellow highlight against those leaves. So I'm going to outline the edges of my trees in my mineral orange. And then I'm going to go back in with a bunch of different browns to make them dark, just like in the reference photo. Now I'm also going to do the bushes orange because those are my favorite in the reference photo. So I'm going to start with an orange base and then just sort of build. And then I'm going to come back in a little bit later to add some of those great highlights. So bear with me. And now I'm going to use my Uniposca marker to add those highlights. What's nice about paint is that you can let the darker colors dry and just add lighter colors on top, but with colored pencils that doesn't really work. So I'm going to cheat a little bit and use my white Uniposca pen, my marker paint pen, to sort of make these same little white highlights onto the bushes in the same sort of leaf kind of pattern. And then after this dries, I'm going to come back with colored pencil and go right over top of it because the colored pencil will actually lay on top of the paint layer and I'll be able to color right on top of my orange. But for now, I'm going to let that dry. Now I'm going to start on this cute little carriage house and I'm going to do this red. And I'm starting with just a little bit of a highlight color in henna, but this lantern here, I do really want it to kind of cast a nice glow. So I'm going to focus my highlights in the areas where I think the lantern would sort of fall against the building. And then I'm going to come back in with a bunch more reds and browns to add my dimension and shadow. Now, the thing I really like about using this photo as inspiration is that it kind of helps me tell a bit of a story. This whole area behind the carriage here looks like it just came from our reference photo. And I really like that you can sort of give a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of an homage to maybe what's behind the horse, or maybe even to kind of where she's going to. All right, so now I'm going to go back into those orange bushes there, and I'm going to add my color right over top of our white paint pen. And I'm going to use a bunch of different colors like in the reference photo, just to make it a little bit more dynamic. And I'm going to be adding a lot more of those later on, so stay tuned to the end of the video to see how I do that. Now I'm going to do the grass, and I'm doing a really light sort of highlight where I think that our lantern would cast a brighter glow. So I've just sort of made a little bit of a circle on the ground, and I'm going to start real light in that circle and then work my way dark and add a lot of different dimension in the grassy area. Now we'll do the roof, and I just kind of want it to be a little cedar shake roof, so I'm using a bunch of different browns making sure that I highlight my shadows just to make sure that it looks like they're overlapping and three-dimensional. And then I'll blend it all together. Now the fun part. So I really like this river in the middle of our reference photo, but there's no river in our romantic country page. So I'm actually going to use the same colors in the road. And it might seem a little bit crazy to use purples and reds and stuff in a road, but trust me, I really think it's going to come out nice. I'm going to start with my lightest colors and just layer and build and build and build. And just try to mimic the lines that are in the reference photo. And I'm going to use a lot of dark kind of underneath the carriage so that it kind of acts as that shadow. And now I'm going to blend it all together. Now I'll do a couple of the little details, the lantern, the carriage. Our little girl here waiting to go on her adventure. I'm going to add a little bit of moss green to the roof. Okay, now I'm going to bring out my Uniposca paint pen once again, and I'm just going to be really kind of sloppy with it down here. I just want to make sure that I'm kind of adding enough of those little leaf-shaped highlights so that I can give it a little bit more color. And then some of these little yellow lines that are in our reference photo, they sort of remind me of light trails when you're using sparklers in the dark. And I'm going to sort of create some of those lines here along the roadside. And now that this is dry, I'm going to come back in with my yellow and just cover right over my white paint pen. I wish I had more colors of this paint pen, but unfortunately I have white, so just kind of make and do with what I have. And then over here, I'm going to just add a whole bunch of blues just to give this a little bit more dimension and that kind of painterly look. And here's our finished project. I am in love with it. This definitely pushed me outside my comfort zone, like I was saying, to use colors that I wouldn't necessarily use. If you're going to grow and try and experiment with new things, GraphicStock's images are a great way to do that. So thanks for joining me today. I hope you liked this challenge. Remember that GraphicStock has offered us a 7-day free trial, so go ahead and click that link in the description below to get your 7-day free trial, unlimited access to downloads of hundreds of thousands of images to try your own. And don't forget to create your work and post them to social media using the hashtag #CreatorToCreator. Let's take a look at this week's featured work from Facebook and Instagram. If you too would like to be featured, you can post your work on Instagram using the hashtag PencilStash, or you can join our Facebook group, PencilStash Adult Coloring Group. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more tutorials. Thank you so much for joining me this week. Thanks again to GraphicStock for partnering and sponsoring this video. I will see you guys next time.